Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Another blessing be within and about your presence. We'll continue with the conversation about the foolish warriors.
You think about it. No matter how dedicated and sincere you are, you could run out into the fire to put out the fire and have a whole bucket of water for a blazing inferno. Come on. You have to have the knowledge. You have to have the guidance, the instructions. Without that, man, it don't matter what you do. You ever seen people sitting on the side saying, I don't know why the Lord do this to me. Why me? I feed the poor, take care of the homeless, and I give my percent in church and the mosque. And why me? Something got to be wrong with you. So don't think because you're doing all those things that you are right. Because you may be wrong in the way you're doing them. And for who you doing it to.
And you know what, I could bear witness to that. Y'all was saying how you can know, how do you know? A.H.A.D really communicates with us if we but listen. It gives us a first instinct, and then it gives us all this information that we receive from Holy Apostle to take and dissect and use it appropriately. But we let our pride, our ego, and what we have been given prior to make us make judgments on things, and we go about our way making it right in our mind. And why I say that is because I did something.
Believing it to be right now.
Believing it to be right. And why I say that is I'm only going to give you from my own experience. A couple of weeks ago, I did something that I shouldn't have did. You know, A.H.A.D said that when it curse a person or curse a people, that there's no one that can intercede on their behalf. And A.H.A.D made it clear to me that it is chastising a family. And I went about my business ignoring the fact that A.H.A.D clearly has manifested in front of my face that it is chastising them. And I went and did them a favor. I helped them out in a situation I shouldn't have helped them out. And then what A.H.A.D did to show me my stupidity was for them to come back in a non-appreciative manner in regards to what I did. You understand what I'm saying?
Suspicion.
Huh? And help me in suspicion.
Of some wrongdoing.
Of some wrongdoing.
And did not the messenger try to stop you?
Yes. Yes.
Holy Queen Mother,
yes,
from making that error. And did not that messenger go enraged and try to even yell down on you
if you
to
just
get you to hear? Did not the Holy Apostle, the messenger of A.H.A.D, do everything short of shaking you to tell you don't do it?
Yes, and
I thought so.
But then A.H.A.D didn't let me go with just that. A.H.A.D allowed me to get myself into another situation where people is questioning my goodness and then trying to rob me of what's due to me. You understand? So A.H.A.D ain't finished with me yet. But what I'm saying, truly, it ain't finished with me yet because I'm on fire today because I'm almost basically the same situation. But what I'm saying is that you have to sit back and, first of all, don't let your heart be your guide. That's foolishness. Oh, I follow my heart. Don't let your heart be your guide. Let A.H.A.D be your guide. And what appears to be wrong to other people that's looking in at it, don't worry about that, because A.H.A.D knows right from wrong. We're just living in illusion trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong. But A.H.A.D know. And so even though it may appear that you're not right in a situation, you may be very well right. And don't let nobody pull you into their philosophy of what's right and wrong. You have to truly listen for A.H.A.D and accept the guidance that comes from the messenger and do that. And just say, hey, I don't care how people feel about me. This is right. I'm going to go with this. Because at the end of the day, they may feel negative about you, but A.H.A.D is pleased with you. But if you make them happy with you, then A.H.A.D is going to be displeased with you, and you're going to hate the chastisement from A.H.A.D way more than their dissatisfaction with you as an individual. Okay.
I accept your apology.
I did.
You see what she did? On television, she apologized. That was real sweet. I can't get you.
Yes, you will. Don't let him fool y'all.
Daughter.
I'm gonna be beat in the head with it for the rest of the week.
She's slick. Brought it into a lesson. Oh my Lord.
Lord, what Holy Queen Mother said about thinking with your heart, don't go with your heart, is that an extension of that emotionality that people have been teaching us, misleading us by?
You must be a Leo too. He gonna hop on the end of her stuff. Don't know how I feel right now about her. I'm trying to tell you, she just apologizing for something. And you, old buddy, you holding on to what she said. Okay. What's your question?
I don't. Well, I'm listening to the Holy Queen Mother, but she did in her
jive.
In her dissertation.
In her jive, she told us something that has some wisdom in it. She should have listened to me. In other words, that's all she said, and everything she just said, she should have listened to me in a certain situation, because I told her directly that it was from Allah, but she couldn't hear me. She was so determined to try to upgrade some individuals who Allah is not pleased with. She got tired of seeing them in their condition, figured that maybe Allah is doing it too long. See, that's what people do. They have a tendency to put their own judgments before Allah. See, Allah A.H.A.D had me waiting for some things, and I'm so tired of waiting for them. But I've been waiting. You know how you say you want to know what's going to happen with you in your life? Be mindful of what you ask for. Because A.H.A.D told me things 31 years ago, I'm still waiting. Can you imagine waiting for 31 years for something to happen, something good to happen? I'm tired. You see, I would have rather not known. But people get impatient with A.H.A.D. You got to hold patience with A.H.A.D. Because everything is going to happen in the way that it desires to happen, in the time frame it desires for it to happen. Now, in spirituality, you come better to know, to identify with those things, because you're more in contact with the voice of your soul. A.H.A.D speaks directly to your soul. It speaks directly to the souls of every individual. But if you're not involved in spirituality on the pathway to your soul, how could you ever hear A.H.A.D's words? How could you ever pay attention to them? You have to become like a dead man. You have to become most silent to listen. Humble. You silence yourself through humility. You feel me?
Holy Apostle, staying with spirituality, what could cause a person to be cut off from their inner spirituality and even have their
what would cause a person to come into and get involved in self-destruction, spiritual self-destruction? Them not listening to A.H.A.D and them purposely ignoring A.H.A.D. See, the thing about A.H.A.D, the Lord El Allah, Amen, it sends down guidance, true guidance, right guidance for everybody and everything. Now, it commands them to take it. It don't will that they take it. It don't will that everybody take it. But it's for us to take it. It's for us to seek it, to will us to take it. To beg it, to will us to take it. We have to understand that it's the driver of our vehicle of life. And we are that vehicle. We trying to drive ourselves instead of letting it drive us. People say, oh, I want to be guided by Allah. I want to have faith. I want this, I want that, I want this, that, and the other. When Allah give it to them and give them ease, then they try to take it themselves. They prove that they don't want Allah to do that. They don't want the Lord to do it. They want to do it themselves. The devil sneak in and say, hey, why don't you do it yourself? You got a better way. But see, with me talking like this, for a lot of people, it's like, come on, what is this? How is this guy talking like that? Like the Lord speak like that. The Lord don't speak like that. The Lord do speak like that. The Lord speaks to cows, ants, birds, everything. Speaks to the wind. The Lord speaks to all its servants in the language that it gave them to communicate with it. We may not want to believe that, but that's the truth. It keeps communication. You know? We need to stop self-destructing. Stop going and doing things that causes Allah's anger, or His anger with us. And causes, it to turn on us, so to speak.
Holy Queen Mother Rabia mentioned a family being cursed by A.H.A.D. Is it possible to come back from that kind of situation?
All things are possible with A.H.A.D. A.H.A.D said it forgive you for everything except setting up equals with it. Now, that's a heavy statement. And some people think, well, if you set up an equal with A.H.A.D, then you're finished. But people set up equals with A.H.A.D every day, all the time. So that don't mean that it absolutely will not forgive you. Now A.H.A.D is saying, while you're doing it, it's not going to forgive you. If you choose something over it, it's not going to forgive you. You're going to suffer. In your actions, and you do things and you go astray, or you get hurt, or you be misguided, or whatever happens, something in there, you didn't follow the instructions of A.H.A.D. Just like the scar on my hand. There's certain things I was doing was right, and it told me not to do it in a certain way. And as soon as I did it the other way, I got caught. As soon as I did it the other way, I got caught. And I was doing what it was telling me, the same thing. But I did it in a different way, my way. It became personal. And I got caught.
That's a good example for the people that even the messenger still.
Of course, the messenger is not above Allah's judgments. That's right. We are, as a matter of fact, we are the signs of A.H.A.D. We the signs for you to show you how things are.
The example.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just told you about a scar, and you know how I got this scar. But I'm talking about, for this, to some people, that wouldn't make no sense, but it's on a higher level. And I'm telling you, I know why I got the scar. Because I'm hearing my Lord. I know why I got the scar. I know why I got it as soon as not even a second passed after I got it, I knew why I got it.
Giving us that that's even in that. A chastisement is a high blessing when A.H.A.D gives it to you immediately. Many of those immediately because.
Well, I don't know. You see, you say blessing, but some people can't see things as a blessing. Some things may be a blessing, some things may be a lesson. I've just this morning I recognized something I have been doing for a long time that was not necessary for me to do, but I was doing it. And people have made mention. My family always made mention of it. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's personal. They always made mention of it and laughed about it. Now I have to do it. And just this morning I said, wow, all that time I was doing that, and I didn't have to do it, you was preparing me for now when I have to do it. Because if I'd have just had to do it now in this way, I'd have truly been disturbed. But I'm so used to doing it, now that I have to do it, it's all right. I can deal with no problem. It's just like being raised in the ghetto, being raised hard. You know? I remember I went to the police academy, and I guess it was supposed to be one of my experiences, which it was. And we had about 75, 85 people, 95 people, I believe, in the class. They asked the guys, how many of you have had, how did he put it, more than one fight? It said more than one fight in your life. And only about 10% of the people raised their hand out of 95 people. Said, well, how many of you had more than 3 fights? Even less. How many of you had more than 5 fights? I was the only one raised my hand. And they called me and said, how many fights you had? I said, I've had 5 fights in a day, many days. In my life, I can't tell you how many fights I've had in my life because I've had so many. I remember one summer I fought almost every day. I can't remember. But they wanted me to become a police officer with their organization. They said I was right for the job. These guys who had no battles, you got a lot of all the good guys that go out there and become cops. A lot of them is like crash courses on the job training because they've never had scuffles. They fast to pull a gun because they never had scuffles. Going to school, being in the gym, learning judo and all that stuff don't count. When you get out in the real world and you're looking a beast in the face. If you don't know how not to overreact, you will overreact. That's why when one police officer shoot, if there's 20 of them there, they all gonna pull out the gun and shoot. It's just a reaction. Now, if you got 20 thugs out there that's been cops, that's turned to cops, one shoot, the other's gonna look at what's going on. They're not gonna react like that. You never hear about a shooting in the ghetto in the hood and everybody pull out their gun and shoot. But you hear about 40 cops, one heard a shot and everybody starts shooting. It's preparation. You have to have mental preparation, and you need mental preparation for spirituality. If you don't prepare yourself, if you don't practice, then you're not going to get there. Someone asked me about the Cabal Union yesterday, Enoch's book. And I told this individual, because I know this individual. I said, that book is really not for you. Because that Cabal Union is for those who are truly seeking to connect with the Lord El. Seeking to make their life a part of it. Not one who just want to say, I'm Muslim, or I'm an A.H.A.D believer, or I'm a spiritualist, I believe in this, that, and the other. It's something that actually connects you, gives you the knowledge of how to connect on the material plane with A.H.A.D. And that's nothing to play with. But this person trying to get on the good side of me, and they saying, yeah, I've been reading this, that, and the other, and I know that was just a ploy to try to give me some happiness with her. You understand? Now, instead of them bringing forth good because of my high level of connection and my realization, I realize that now this person trying to deceive me, serving the devil, trying to deceive me, because they know at this particular time A.H.A.D is not pleased with them. So they feel, I got to find some way to get the messenger off of me, to make the messenger happy. So let me tell him this. I'm reading the Cabal Union, I'm studying. Yeah, right. You studying me. How to be a devil and conquer me. Huh? Without spirituality, without my connection with my Lord and my soul and, the whole volume of being in balance, I wouldn't know these things. I wouldn't recognize these things. I'd fall victim. I don't want to get off the conversation, but
The conversation of spirituality.
Well, where I'm going, I don't want to take it personal,
Okay.
nowhere. But that's the whole thing. You understand what I'm saying? This thing is real. Spirituality is real. It's not just like people say, what's your religion? Oh, I'm a Buddhist. You a Buddhist. For real? What is a Buddhist? Oh, I meditate and I do this, that, and the other, and I had the incense. Come on. What's a real Buddhist? If you're saying you like Siddhartha Gautama, then you saying you an enlightened one. It's like we said yesterday. What's your attribute? And you gave me a name, and I said that's not your attribute. That's your name. I said, yeah, Muslims. You ask a Muslim what's their attribute, and they tell you their name. But I said attribute is that which you live, that which you attribute to society. You could call yourself Abdul Salam and be a hellraiser. So what's your attribute? A hellraiser, not a servant of the peace. But you call yourself Abdul Salam and tell people that's my attribute. That ain't your attribute. Your attribute is whatever you is. Whatever you manifest to be. That's your attribute. Now, you might call yourself anything and claim that to be an attribute. Then part of your attribute is being a liar. But see, in spirituality, with true spirituality, you would not misunderstand that. You would not be led to misunderstand that. You would not be allowed. You would have something to stop you. It's little things. Just like I'm talking to you and I was about to go into something personal and I start itching my left eye. I know by my conversation with my Lord when I do things like that, stop. I'm going off course. And I stopped immediately. Now, to the people out in the world or some people in this audience here, they might not believe that. But that's my relationship with my Lord, my physical relationship with my Lord. It does something with me physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, in all areas of my being. It does things with me. And giving me guidance, And I recognize that is due to my spirituality, my spiritual life. I had some brothers come to me, and they were saying some things about, well, when Allah speak to you, to me, and I said, well, Allah's speaking to me now. And they was like, They didn't believe, and they all turned and walked away. They all left with disbelief. Their thing was, I didn't see him go through no changes. How could Allah be speaking to him? Spirituality to them is commotion. He would have to go through some commotion, for Allah to be speaking to him. But I say to them, if Allah spoke to Muhammad or Jesus or any of the prophets before me and did that to them all the time, what kind of life would they have? Every time Allah spoke to them, they burnt. They couldn't take it. They was in such awe that they was smashed. They just broke down. How could they live like that? Then the example for all mankind would be to act that way all the time. And say, well, the Lord's giving me something.
For the jinn-spirited men to look at him and tell the people, see, you don't want to act like that and lead the people astray.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But see, the whole thing is they got people thinking like that amongst the people of the book before Muhammad and Christianity, and that's why you got all the ministers going through them commotions when they preaching. Because now they're getting the Spirit. The Spirit, the Holy Ghost talking to them. And law don't work like that. That's the devil.
Yeah, they connected that catching the Spirit to the emotional side. They even say they call liquor spirits, right? And that help you have people all in there.
That's true. That's true. That's true because truly religious people have always drank. They've drank wine. When they said Jesus turned water to wine, they was telling you, Jesus and them boys, they drunk some wine. They drunk wine. That's why you got some of the rabbis and some of the, priests and what have you. They drink wine. But the thing about it was they didn't produce the wine in a way where they was adding alcohol and all that stuff. The wine they drunk was fermented fruit. They drunk fermented fruit juice, and it intoxicated them. That was it. We take things out of context, but that's the whole deal. The devil has got them leading the people astray. And some people will not go to certain churches because the ministers ain't emotional enough. And some of the ministers don't feel like they've done a good enough job until they get somebody crying and emotional. So they got to keep working. Have I ever got to where I get so going, you got to give me a handkerchief, wipe the sweat, so I keep going. No. But the truth is heavy, ain't it? Huh?
Yeah, I don't want to take us off on that, but there are other groups that actually go to the whole other extreme and going against the religious people.
Oh yeah,
it's totally solemn, They must be the truth too,
Well, they are the other, like you said, they had the other extreme. Like I said, that's not true. There are some people who say, yeah, that's not true. Then they went the other way, and you can hardly get a hum out of them.
The sad part about it is so many people look for sensationalism.
That's the whole thing. On both ends is sensationalism. They don't look for truth. They look for sensationalism, and they'd rather you deal in sensationalism instead of the words of truth. You feel me? They want the sensationalism because the sensationalism helps hide them.
Yeah.
Oh man, I seen 3 spirits last night. You go to them and say, yeah, I was, spirit came to me. Yeah, you too. Oh man, 3 spirits came to me. Well, what was that all about? Oh man, I don't know. Wait a minute. 3 spirits came to you, and you haven't no keys to life. Nothing's changed. You just was uplifted sensationally, and now you're back down. No, that's not dealing with truth.
I read something not too long ago on the internet, and I found it to be, with no disrespect, I found it to be funny. It was a brother. He was in the NFL. This is his second season. 3rd round draft pick. Anyway, he's retired, and on the internet they headline things where they pique your curiosity to read. He's only 23 years old. So I clicked on it, and they said the real reason why he's retired is because he found Christ. And I thought it was hilarious.
Well, we got 1 minute, so let me address that real quick. Some people, when they go into spirituality, they start seeing deeper. Him finding Christ in his way, he may have seen football as a vicious sport, animalistic, beastly sport where men hurt men, and in his heart and mind, he couldn't do it anymore.
Right, and I understood that completely. But I just thought it was funny how they headlined.
Oh, they headlined because they want to make a mockery. Right? Yeah. They want to make a mockery of it. Like, he's a fool. He let go millions for Christ.
And they really thought that he was a fool.
Yeah.
We'll close out the show. The audience, you and the audience, take a look at our address. Reach out to us, ask questions. If you want to get a copy of the show, you can write to the address and ask for instructions.
Who of you want to do things right? to keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things?